don't answer yet. Even basically there are some passage or passages that you might find it difficult to read and understand why you read it just once. Yes. And which is why your first reading is a kind of pre-knowledge about the passage. And which is why you are not expected to answer yet. And our next, after you might have read it for the first time, then read the question. Read the questions. Read the questions. That is, you will read the questions about the passage. After every passage, there must be a question that follows. So you read the question. This is for you to have a kind of background setting in your mind about what will be the answer of those questions you have just read when you are going for the second reading. And the third thing is to have your second reading. Your second reading. Yes, second reading. You discover that after you might have read for the first time without answering the question, you read the questions and you now go to reading the passage for the second time. You discover that you will be having the answer to these questions in your mind. You will be having the answer to these questions in your mind, and which is why your second reading will give you the clue, the total understanding about the passage. Then you can now answer. Mind you, there are some situations you might need to go for your third reading. But meanwhile, especially for JAMB candidates, you don't have the time to read more than twice the passage. And I even believe that if you are a good candidate, that you have worked enough on comprehension before your exam, you should be able to read the passage 2 times and be able to answer questions about this passage. So this is how you can read a passage and be able to answer questions on them. And areas again under comprehension is for the WAEC and NECO candidate, that is the O-level candidate, because after reading a passage only for JAMB candidates, while you follow these steps in reading, JAMB candidates, you are answering questions on objectives. You are answering questions on multiple objectives. You understand? So for WAEC and NECO, your answer is in writing. So you need other aspects. Although when we get to grammar aspects, we are going to talk on ways to answer question correctly in sentences, because for WAEC candidates, you need to answer question in sentence. Answering questions in sentence. You see, for you to have your total mark for every question and answer in the comprehension, your answer must be in sentence. For instance, maybe you read a passage on agriculture. And in the paragraphs of the passage, you have read on the benefits of agriculture, that is what agriculture has done to the society. And one of it is that agriculture has provided employment. Agriculture has made provision of provision for food. So, and you want to put that, and the question says in 2 sentences, or probably the question asks you, what are the benefits of agriculture according to the passage? And you went ahead to say 1, benefits of agriculture. Let's say that is your question. And you are now answering in phrase. For example, you said, for food. 2, you said for employment. You see, these answers are wrong. Why? Because they are in phrase. Fine, your point is established. That is, you want to establish that agriculture provides food. but you fail to answer in sentence. You fail to put your answer in a sentence form. You should rather have something like this. 1. Agriculture provides food for people. Or you can say helps to provide food for people. Then you went ahead to say agriculture, or in order for you not to have a repetition of noun, agriculture, you will have it provides job opportunity. You see, these two answers, they are in sentence because you can have your sentence elements in them compared to what you have here, which are phrases. The answers here might be correct, but meanwhile, they are not in what? In sentence. They are not in sentence, which is why you will not have your full mark. In fact, some examiner will even wrong the question, the answer for you immediately, because why? You are not having your answer in sentence. So another thing you should look onto is answering question in sentence. Answering question in sentence. That is, your answer must be in sentence. Your answer must be in sentence. So the third things that is needed to be considered under comprehension. This also for the WAEC candidate and NECO, the O-level candidate, is number 3. Figures of speech. Figures of speech is another area that you need to look into, because for every WAEC NECO passage, some certain expressions will be underlined and you will be asked, what is the figure of speech, or what is the figurative expression of that underlined expression in the passage? Which is why we, in our subsequent video, we are going to consider studying some figure of speech that are very peculiar to WAEC, NECO, and all other O-level exams. Then another thing, the fourth thing that you need to know is what we call word substitution. Word substitution. You see, this area also is for the WAEC NECO candidate. Why? Because in the passage, some words will be underlined and they will be extracted for you to substitute for them other words that can mean the same thing to them. So in substituting a word in the passage, there are some things we need to look onto. Number 1 is the word formation. The word formation of class. So this, in substituting a word in the passage, you have to consider the word formation. What do I mean by word formation or word class? That is, if a word that is being underlined for you to have a replacement for it is a noun, you should also provide a word that is also a noun. If the word is a verb, you should also provide a verb form of that word.